everybody. Hello. Welcome back to our weekly YouTube live. You can hear me loud and clear. Can you type in a yes for me? And also share with me your name. Alright, good evening everybody. From because I want to welcome back to our YouTube live. You can hear me loud and clear. Okay, and tonight we have a very yes for me special and also share with me your name. Alright, good evening everybody. From because I want to welcome back to our YouTube live. You can hear me so this is very and tonight we have a podcast for me and also share with me your Xiani and we are doing well from joining us tonight. Thank you. And type your name where you're from. That would be great because alright. So this is very and tonight we have a podcast for me and also share with me your Xiani and we are doing well. So first thing first. Like to thank you. Back a little bit where you're from. That might be great. So this is really and tonight we have a podcast for me and last share your Xiani and we're doing so first thing first. Like to thank you. Back a little bit where you're from. That might be great. So this is really and tonight we have a podcast for me and last share your Xiani and we're doing so enjoy that. First thing first, we are back again for this live. Just as much as possible, like I said, that might be live. So this is again tonight we have a podcast for me and last share your Xiani and we're doing so enjoy that. First thing first, we are back again for this live. Just as much as possible, like I said, that might be much more live. So this is again tonight we have a podcast for me and last share your Xiani and we're doing so enjoy that. First thing first, we are back again for this live. But the truth is not. Alright, there is actually potentially things that's going around that might be still happening. Okay, you never know. Alright, so that is the thing that we are focusing on. Okay, so that's how it is over here. Alright, so that itself is really important. That might be still happening. Okay, you never know. Alright, so that is the thing that we are focusing on. Okay, so that's how it is over here. Alright, so okay, so thank you for that. Okay, so sorry for the audio. I think there's another audio that's playing, so that's why there's some audio issue. Okay, good. Thanks for telling me for the audio issue. Thank you, everyone. All right, so yeah, and as the market people think that the worst is over, but the truth is there might be more coming. And now, actually, as of today, I am studying what is up and coming for the year of 2027. And that is something I might be sharing a bit more. And by the way, how many wants to know that upfront before the year 2027 comes along? Okay, type in a yes 2027. Okay, so I know you want that. For sure, for my inner circle coaching student, I will start talking about that in the monthly Metaphysics University, which I am teaching them every single month. It's part of the monthly coaching. And for the Celestial Retreat, those who are coming in for the Celestial Retreat, that is what we are going to focus on as well. All right, and the retreat itself will be the main event every single year. And we're going to talk about all the forecasts up and coming for the year of 2027 in terms of Qi, BaZi, Feng Shui, and I Ching perspective. And more importantly, how would that actually affect your individual energy? Because according to your date of birth and time of birth, every single one of us have our own personal BaZi chart, our personal Qi chart, and our personal Feng Shui chart. And that itself, with the fire goat energy coming in, that would affect your energy for the year of 2027. Okay, and personally, I love to plan upfront. I love to be prepared early, especially for the forecast for the following year. Why? Because then I can better prepare my decision making. I can better prepare my business, my personal life, my travel, family, everything, will revolve around the energy for the year. Of course, I will set my goals first, and that's always the most important. However, from my goal, I will actually focus on that. Okay, so if you're just joining in for the live tonight, can you type in the chat your name and where you are from so I know who I'm interacting with? And in just a couple of minutes, shortly, I'm going to talk about the topic for today, which is the wealth signal in your BaZi chart. All right, and today I have 3 sample charts that I have prepared, and I'm going to show you where you can look out for your own personal wealth signal. Okay, so before I begin, I think my team will probably type in the URL. Okay, we'll paste the link for you to plot your own chart. Okay, yeah, so they probably paste the link for you, and you can really plot your own chart. If not, you can go under royphay.com. Okay, and put in, click on the plot site. Okay, so you can go to royphay.com. Okay, and then let me show it to you. Okay, over here. So, okay, this one. Yeah, okay, it goes to my website, and you can see there's a plot chart over here. Can you see? There's a plot chart over here, so you can come here and click on plotting your own chart. So what you need is just to fill in your name, your gender, right, your date of birth, your time of birth, your email, and your mobile. Okay, click on submit, then generate a report. Okay, so you will get the report, and you'll get something like this. Let me show it to you. Yep, so you get something like a chart like this. Then from there, you can really, understand what I'm going to talk about tonight. Okay, we're going to talk about tonight. That's really important. Okay, so if you are ready for tonight's session, then we're going to talk a little bit technical, little bit about BaZi. If you are ready, type in ready for me. Okay, type in ready for me, everybody. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Okay, and before I begin, I just want to check in. How many of you here have some learning and you do know a little bit about BaZi? How many learned before or heard about BaZi? Type a 1 for me. Right? If you have learned it before or know before, type a 1 for me. Okay? How many of you don't know anything about BaZi? Like this word is like brand new to you, and all the character that you see on the chart is like foreign language to you. You don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know why you land on my page also. You just find this very interesting, see this smiley guy and then just talk about some Chinese character. You just feel very intrigued. Type a 2 for me if you don't know anything about it. All right, so we have Hui Fang, we have Xiani, thank you. We have Gwen, all right, who knows about BaZi, of course, right? If you're not sure, you can type a 2, so I know, who are the people that need a little bit more hand-holding, okay? Because if all of you or most of you know what is this about, then I can go deeper, okay? Yeah, so I can go deeper. So first thing first, let me talk a little bit about what is BaZi. Okay, some of the fundamentals of it. So 八字 is a Chinese name. It is a direct translation from 八字, or Cantonese called BaZi. Okay, what it means, 八 means 8, 字 means character. So it's the 8 character. So where does the 8 character come from? It comes from the top 4 character on top, okay, and the bottom 4 character. Okay, so it's all the 8 character here. Then you say, Roy, actually there's still another sets below. Yes, correct. But the thing is, some, tradition of BaZi, they don't talk about the bottom one. Okay, because to them is a hidden branch. So, and hidden branch is too hidden, so they don't talk about it. Okay, so that's what happened. But in the way that I am taught, the hidden branch is very important. Okay, and it's very powerful as well. But just some schools, they don't acknowledge that. All right, so this is 八字. So what is 八字 used for? 八字 is used for traditionally, a lot of people thought is fortune telling. When will I be rich? When I'm going to become a millionaire? And when I've had bad luck, or why is my luck like that? So a lot of people see it as a fortune telling. Okay, and some people see that, because you got too much fire, then you need to, wear a brown color, because brown color is earth, right? So too much fire, you need to remove the earth, or you need to wear blue color, because blue is water counter fire. Okay, that's what most 八字 talks about. Personally, I love 八字 because 八字 talks about a few things, which is your key strength. Your key strength, or talk about your key weaknesses, and also your talents, your gifts, and very importantly is how can you activate certain talents and gifts in your life. And also you get to know your destiny career, to the point that I also read into if someone wants to do trading, they want to do investment, what would be the kind of investment for them. And very importantly, which is one part of 八字 that I really like, is to be able to read your luck pillar, okay, which is the energy that you are having for the next 10 years. Okay, as you can see below your chart, you can see this 八字 luck pillar. So this itself can tell me where you are at this moment. Okay, and this is the current luck pillar you are going through. And for that, what kind of energy you are going through for the next 10 years and things like that. All right, so this is what I love to see. And not only that, because every year comes in a different energy, so I can know and also prepare myself for next year, because next year is a Ting Fire Goat year. So now I already start preparing, what is potentially, what kind of energy is coming in, how can I be prepared, what should I prepare in terms of my strategy, what I'm going to get ready for, how I'm going to help me achieve my goals, and things like that. All right, so that is very, very important. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, so have everybody plotted your 八字 chart? All right, have everybody plotted your destiny alignment report? Right, if you have, then let's get started. All right, just now I'll just give a bit more time for those who need time to take a look at the destiny alignment report. Okay, so first thing first, where do you see wealth element in your chart? How do you know you have certain wealth element? Right, so first thing first, a lot of people thought wealth element in 八字 is represented by these two characters. One is direct wealth, which is represented by DW, and the other one is indirect wealth, represented by IW. Okay, so let's look at this chart over here. I know you'll be saying like, Roy, who is this person? Why is it 1940? It's a sample chart. I don't know this person personally. You get what I'm trying to say? Right? It's a sample chart. And of course, if you calculate, this person will be 80 plus years old. Okay? So first thing first, in BaZi, the most important element would be the day master. The day master is always the most important, which is the day pillar heavenly stem. Okay, we call it the day master, or we can call it the day stem. Okay, it's the same. All right, so over here is a Geng metal character. So that would be the first thing we read into BaZi. Okay, so if you know a bit of BaZi, you will probably guess what is the Geng metal character over here. However, the most important pillar in BaZi is not the day pillar. The most important pillar is this pillar. Let me use another color. The most important pillar is the month pillar. Why? Because as a human being, we spend at least 40 to 50% of our entire lifetime working, being in a career. And especially being Asian, we work the hardest among the rest of the people in this world. Okay, so Asian, you're pertaining to, the neighboring country, the Thai people, the Vietnamese, Singaporean, the Chinese, the Malays, Indonesia, Asian, Southeast Asian. We typically, like Indian, we work the hardest, right? We are very hardworking individual. So as we are hardworking, we are focusing more on the month. Why month pillar? Because month pillar represent our career, represent our business. So if you see on the top here, can everybody see? If you see on the top here, let me zoom in. Under the month pillar, okay, and if you see a direct wealth or indirect wealth, this shows a good indicator of your career. Just an indication. It doesn't mean you got direct wealth, means, oh, I'm going to become a millionaire. Okay, it doesn't mean that. There's still quite a number of important things you need to take note. All right, so first thing first, you need to see if there's a direct wealth or indirect wealth. All right, indirect wealth is represented by IW, as I mentioned just now. Okay, so next, let's look at the other one. Okay, so you can see this is another report, or just a sample chart. Under the month, can you see that this one is indirect resource? Can you see? It's not indirect wealth or direct wealth. And then you can see another one. This is another example. So this is also another indirect wealth. Can you see? All right, so first thing I want you to type in which one is yours. What do you see under the month pillar? Okay, the stem, this stem, and what do you see over here beside? Okay, type it in for me, everybody. Okay, so my first example is a direct wealth. The second example is an indirect resource, right? The third example is an indirect resource as well. Okay, so personally, the most direct way to see if there's a wealth star in the month is to be able to spot a direct wealth or indirect wealth. Okay, if you can spot a direct wealth or indirect wealth, that would means a quick example of that. Okay, wait. Okay, so if you have indirect wealth and direct wealth, okay, DW and IW, this represented by wealth star. Okay, so this will be the wealth star itself. Okay, so if you see these two, it's represented by wealth star. Okay, so we have Qingming. Qingming is a DR, direct resource. Okay, that's good. All right, so next, the second wealth star, if you ask me, would be either the indirect resource or direct resource. These two are the so-called second wealth star. Why? Because resource stands for, okay, let me, SOURC. All right, resource stands for resources. And one thing about resource also represented by noblemen, helpful people. So one of the best way to get wealth is people literally give you resource. Means coming in to help you, or potentially inheritance, or noblemen who just like you, because the resource star produces the self star. Okay? Resource also represented by knowledge. And for the longest time during information age and even till today, I strongly believe if you have the right intellectual and the right resource, that in many ways is a much more longevity secrets to getting the wealth you want. Okay, so the first direct one would be indirect wealth, direct wealth, that's the wealth. The second one would be indirect resource and direct resource. The third one, if you ask me, is creativity. You need eating God or hurting officer. Okay, these two, if you ask me, they are represented by creative star. Okay? Meaning, today, if you want to be wealthy, you want to be able to make more money, you need to think creatively out of your box. What are the other ways I can add value to someone else? Because by having that, you are able to have more creative out of the box method. Instead of the good old way, you work from 9 to 5, you just make the monthly income. Doesn't mean you cannot be wealthy, just that it will take a much longer time. Versus you come out with an idea, now with AI, you can create an app, you can write code it, and then you can sell away the app, for let's say $1 million, for example. Okay, someone love your app and then buy it. So all this takes creativity, which is eating God and hurting officer. Okay, so the fourth way of the wealth is this: friend and rock wealth. Okay, so this is a self star. Self meaning having this. Okay, I'm talking about this. Having this on the top here or here, right, which is the month under here or here, it just shows a different way of looking at wealth. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that today, the way you will be out there making money is through one word: relationships. Self-star is a relationship star. Friend represent who are your friends. Rob wealth is not mean you're going to rob people wealth or people rob your wealth. Okay? Rob wealth just simply means that you are able to harness other people's network or able to rally a group of people with a common cause to get the results that you want. Okay, so personally, out of the four, I've seen people with wealth star and making good money with it, obviously, because there's the direct wealth and indirect wealth. I know people who are resource, they don't have a lot of money to start with. However, over time, through their knowledge, through their learning, through meeting noblemen in their life, they actually becomes wealthy. Creative belongs to many of the entrepreneurs, which they have very, very creative ideas, to take something ordinary and make it extraordinary. And the fourth one would be relationship building. Who are you building relationship with? Are you mixing with people that every day do nothing but just gossip, spread rumors, attack other people? Or are you mixing with high vibrational energy people who talks about how to grow an 8-figure business, how to have the latest idea in AI and things like that? So personally, I'm just very thankful. I have a group of business friends that whenever we meet together, we'll talk about amazing ideas of what's the latest technology in the artificial intelligence. We'll talk about business, we'll talk about entrepreneurship, we'll talk about how to grow our businesses and things like that. And just by having lunch, chit-chatting, there's already so much to learn. And that's part of the self-star. Right? And lastly, you might have 7 killings and also direct officer. Okay, this one I call it the discipline star. Okay, so do you need discipline or to be wealthy? The answer is yes. Okay, however, it takes a bit of different method, to be wealthy in this case. So if you are someone who has 7 killing or direct officer, the fastest way is to be really, really good at what you're doing, because you'll be probably in operation or in terms of systems, in terms of making sure things run smoothly. So you be so good that you want to look for a good partner, a good entrepreneur, or a good leader to work together. The truth is, any great entrepreneur out there will always be looking for amazing people who are able to run system, framework, rule base, and take care of the operation of the business. Like for me, I'm constantly looking out for great people to be part of my team, even with AI now. Why? Because there's so much more to be done. And operationally wise, how to run the whole company operation, that's always something really important. All right. So with that, can you tell me what is your top month stamps profile over here? All right. Once again, okay. So we have a few that put direct resource. Apparently, all 4 are direct resource. How about the rest of you? Okay, we are coming to 30, 40, 50 people here. All right. So this is over here, direct wealth. This indirect wealth. Indirect resource, and it is indirect resource. All right, can you type it in for me? Which one belongs to you? So that is the first way to see your month profile, the top stamp profile. Okay, what it is. Okay, so then I'll talk about the second method later. We're going to talk about as well. All right, so of course there are many different methods that we can look into Wealth Star. Okay, so over here, you might be saying, Roy, are you sure you are correct? Because out of the 5 sets, only the first one is called wealth. How is resource a wealth? Resource is a wealth, like I mentioned just now. It's a wealth because if someone, a nobleman, when they actually pull you along or guide you along, or a mentor that comes to help you, or the way that you make money is by upgrading yourself. So resource can still be amazingly wealthy. And I've met friends around me who are great in resource and still become very successful. Okay, creativity is definitely needed for entrepreneur. So if this is your top profile, you want to really make full use of this to be creative and think outside of the box to deliver value to people. The third way is relationship, and the last way is systems and discipline. So then your question will be, Roy, does that mean that everyone can be wealthy today? The answer is yes. It is possible. So please don't fall into the trap that today you have a lousy BaZi chart and then you are broke for the rest of your life. No. It's a little bit like, life is just like a little bit like playing poker or playing mahjong. How many play poker and mahjong? Type in a yes for me. Right? So if you play poker or mahjong, you will know what I meant, which is a strategy game. If you are being given a bad suite of cards or tiles to begin with, it's not the end of the game. Along the way, you can strategize, or you can even not to lose that game, because by not losing, you are winning as well. It's the same with human. It doesn't mean you are born with an inauspicious or not a very powerful BaZi chart, you will be doomed for the rest of your life. I don't believe so. I'm someone who don't have a very strong BaZi chart to begin with. I have quite a few problems in my BaZi chart. And only after I learn BaZi, I am aware of those issues, and then I connect the dots looking backwards. And what I did was I consciously changed my habits, changed my mindset, and changed my heart set and become who I am today. So this version of Roy is a version that I consciously created myself. Who I want to be, in terms as a coach, who I want to be as a business owner, who I want to be as a son, who I want to be as a friend, who I want to be, as a boss to my team member, who I want to be, as the spouse, things like that. So I created Roy. How? By looking my BaZi chart. You'll be thinking, Roy, isn't that fixed already because you're born with those things? The answer is yes. You're born with those innate energy, character, and also habits. But we are not a dog, a cat, or even a lion or zebra or horse or whatever. Not animals, we are not plants. The reason we are human is because we have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, and we have a soul, we have a heart, and very importantly, we can make decisions. We have the power to make a conscious decision. And the only way we change our life is change the standards of your decision. By increasing and elevating your level of decision, you are able to change your life. A very good example is this. If given you have only $3,000, like for me 20 years ago, when I was, starting out in my 20s, when I have $3,000, do I use the $3,000 to upgrade myself by attending a seminar? Or I use the $3,000 to buy myself, LV jeans, right? Or $3,000 to go for a holiday, or $3,000 to, just spend it away. That decision just shaped the course of my life. And what I did for the first 10 years of my life is I consciously choose to keep upgrading my brain, to keep upgrading my mindset. And just so you know, I didn't know anything about BaZi back then. If I knew that, I would be even more consciously activating my talent, my luck pillar, start saving my money, my wealth, and everything. Okay, cool? All right, so let me show you the second method on how you can look at your wealth. Actually, the second method is using your luck pillar. Okay, as you scroll down your Destiny Alignment report, you can see. Okay, so there is this luck pillar. Okay, so this person example, I think it's a bit too far lah. Okay, so let's assume this person is in the 41. Can we do that? Let's assume this person is 41 years old. Okay, let's bring this person back in time. Okay, back to the future. No, this back to the past. Okay, so at 41, imagine this person is going through a friend energy. So what does that mean? How does this person in the 40s make his money? How? Relationship building, which is exactly what I mentioned here. Self. All right, and let's look at this luck pillar. So this person also, this is a much younger one at 24. And let's look at this person. It's 1997. So 2026 minus 1997. Okay, let me look at. I'm not very good with maths at this moment because I'm doing live. Yeah, I'm correct. It's 29 years old. Okay, so 29 years old, this person is still under this pillar at this moment. So it's halfway mark. Okay, this person is halfway mark. So this person is going through a rock wealth energy. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that also building on relationship and self. So this one, the way this person makes money is by focusing on his self-confidence. Through self-confidence, he can be able to grow this pillar another 5 years. By the time he reaches 33 or 34, he probably can convert the rock wealth energy into something creative energy. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Okay, this one, same thing around this age. So if you notice, this person is going through a hurting officer. HO represent hurting officer energy. So what does that mean? It means this person have to be creative. Can you see? So this luck pillar represent the creativity of this person. Okay, cool. And then what this person needs to do in this 10 years, okay, so let's look at the person's age. It's 1982. So use 2006, 26 minus 1982. What is the answer? 44, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay, 2026 minus 1982. Yeah, 44 years old. So this person would be just 3 years into this luck pillar and have another 7 years to go to this luck pillar. Okay, so what this luck pillar is going through is hurting officer, meaning this person needs to be creative, needs to think outside the box, maybe inclusive their investment, the way that they make money. They'll be like, Roy, I'm just a regular worker. I'm someone working as an admin. You know, what else can I do to generate wealth? If you are creative, great. After work, you know, from 9 to 5, your time belongs to the company because the company pays you money. And oh, by the way, when the company pays you a salary, there's some obligation that you need to fulfill and perform, you know, in order to receive the salary. I'm not sure if you're aware about that. Because the thing is, I've been coaching so many students, and sometimes I've heard students say, hey, Roy, you know, the company don't pay me well, you know, and then, you know, I don't like the boss, and then the colleague was bad to me, and then they don't really value me, you know, and then I don't feel happy. And then I was like, okay, how much did the company pay you? Oh, only 15,000. And then they expect me to work OT, expect me to work weekend, and then I'm so stressed. You know what's in my mind? I'm like, hello, people are paying you 15,000 a year. That's 180,000. So 15,000 a month. That's 180,000 a year, right? Yeah, 180,000 a year. And excluding bonuses, right? They probably pays you 2 months, 3 months, maybe 4 months worth of bonuses. That's almost 200 grand of salary every year. Of course, the company expect you of certain standards. If not, guess what? You'll be let to go, right? And then when you let to go, then, I'll hear, that people that I consult, they'll be upset about it. Oh, I've been let go, they don't like me, so just be careful of the story that you tell yourself, many a times. Okay? So yes, so that's the second method of looking at the luck pillar. And in fact, the luck pillar is the way that I personally will focus on. Okay, because I will know this luck pillar what I need to focus on. And from there, how can I tap into this remaining 10 years? Or am I going for the next new 10-year cycle? And what can I focus on? Okay, so one more thing is, okay, let me give you another blank page. All right, so one more thing that I will look into is the year pillar. Okay, so over here, we don't get to see the year pillar, so I'm going to draw it up for you. Okay, so let's talk about 2027. Okay, because fire goat year is coming. Okay, so next year is a 丁未年. Okay, it's a 丁未. Okay, 丁 stands for fire. Okay, this is goat. Right, so this 2027 BaZi chart, or rather the year pillar. Okay, so very simple. You need to look into your BaZi chart. What does Ting Fire represent for you? Okay, so how do you see that? Very good. You just need to go under here, under the luck pillar. I'm pretty sure you can find Ting Fire. And when you spotted the Ting Fire, you look at this energy. What is your energy for 2027? That will determine if next year is a wealth year for you or not. Or if it's not a wealth year, what would be the energy for next year? And what can you prepare to do? How are you going to generate more income? If you can't do it within 10 years, at least you do it within 1 year. How many likes this? Type of yes. Okay, so this is the first example, to look into. This is direct officer. So direct officer, as you know just now, is actually discipline, right? So this is another example. Can you see there's a Ting Fire here, everybody? So you just need to look into your own BaZi chart. Under the luck pillar, you'll be able to find this character called Ting Fire. Okay, if you don't read Chinese character, you can look for Ting Fire. And then you look for this particular character over here. So in this here is direct resource. So what does direct resource mean? It means having more resources in life. Having more resources. So next year is a great year to upgrade yourself. It's a great year for you to meet new friends or even tap into noblemen. Maybe somewhere, somehow, someone will come and guide you. And sometimes guiding you doesn't mean giving you money directly, which can happen, but it might not mean giving you money directly. It could mean that this person gives you some intellectual ideas, give you some helping you with network, give you his time, his experiences. Those are resources as well. All right, let's look into the third example. Can you see the Ting Fire here? All right, so this Ting Fire over here is the same thing. It's a direct officer also. Okay, so direct officer represent what? Discipline. Okay, so then you'll be like, Roy, how do I make money with discipline? How do I make money with discipline? Okay, very good. Can you be disciplined in your wealth creation journey? Can you be disciplined in your budgeting? Can you be disciplined in making things work? Just for things to work in your life, either a side gig income, is it to learn AI, is it to do investment, all requires discipline. Okay, so this is really, really important. Okay, cool. So I've shared with you 3 different methods to look into your wealth element in BaZi. And yes, for BaZi, the very direct way of reading your wealth is having direct wealth or indirect wealth, which is either of these 2 characters. But like I said, that would be a more traditional way. Oh, you have 正财, 偏财 here means you got the money. Okay, that's a very traditional way. Personally, I will look at which one is it to be able to activate, and that's more important. Okay, so I break it down into 5 different categories for you. So every year, if it's a yearly energy, what should you focus on? If it's a 10-year luck pillar, depending how many more years you left, you can maybe left with 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years. You focus on any of the 5. The third method, which I start out with, is looking at your month here. How do you activate this? What would be the main energy for this? This is important. Because over here, if you know how to activate this, this is for your entire career. Cool? I mean, enjoy tonight's session, which is very, very special just for you, a bit technical. How many enjoying this tonight? Type in a yes. All right, cool. And before I go, feel free to ask questions if you have. All right, and I'll probably answer 1 or 2 questions. Before I go, I just want to really encourage everyone to join us for 2 events. Okay, the first one, if you can come, I would love to have you to join us, is our yearly celestial retreat. And this is our 4th year running. And every year we'll talk about the energy forecast for the following year, which is 2027. And this year we are talking about Forge Your Fire, meaning how to prepare your financial independence, retire early for the year of 2027. Why? Personally, I do see a lot more buying opportunity into the year of 2027, especially in the area of investment, where I am a huge advocate that everybody should take control of your investment today, especially your future. Okay, so that's over 5 days, 4 nights in Bali. It's called Celestial Retreat. It's 17 November to 21st November. Can everybody type it in? 17 November to 21st November in Bali. All right, so that is a 5-day, 4-night event. And if you're interested, you could definitely send a message to my team member, Crystal. She can give you more details. We might have a webinar coming up. And then from there, you can find out more details. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, if you can't come for 5 days, 4 nights, I would like you to come for 1 day. Can you make it for at least 1 day? Type in a yes if you can, everybody. Okay, and I know it's a little bit far away. However, I want you to lock in your dates. Is that okay? Because we already have people start buying the tickets for the next year 1-day event. I'm going to call it the Fire Goats Summit, all right, which is the yearly 1-day event I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the year energy, the BaZi, the Qi, the Feng Shui, and everything. So it's on 31st of January 2027. Okay, and my team will paste the link there, and you can join us right now. Okay, if you sign up with us now, I'm personally going to give you some extra bonus gift for thanking you for taking action fast. So you can join us for 5 day, 4 night. I would love for you to join us for 1 day. At least you are prepared what is up and coming for the year of Fire Goat. You'll be like, Roy, why 31st January? isn't us already 1 month into the goat year? The answer is nope. Because in Chinese metaphysics, the energy starts at Li Chun, which is 4th of February for the year, for next year. All right, so you do have a bit of time. If you come on 31st of January, which is at Mandarin Oriental, quite a very nice hotel. So the fee that you're paying is just covering your own lunch and 2 tea breaks. Okay, so I'm personally teaching you for free. So you just cover your own lunch and 2 tea breaks. Okay, so if you can join us for that 1 day event, if not, join us for 5 days, 4 nights. Okay, so please invite your friend. Please bring in a friend to join together with you as well. All right, because I would love to really meet you in person and really talk to you and really help you to navigate through the fire for the year of 2027. A lot of people thought that the worst is over soon. Personally, through metaphysics, I might be wrong, and hopefully I'm wrong. There's more to come. All right, so do brace yourself, because at this junction, if you know and if you are able to really work towards your energy, especially your positive energy and how you perceive the world and how you actually use the energy, you can rise above all the turbulence that's happening around the world. And that's how I've been able to do that over coming to 10 years now, using BaZi, Qi and Feng Shui. Okay, so with that, this is Phay. Thank you so much for joining me live tonight. How many enjoyed the live? Type in the yes, yes, yes for me if you enjoyed the live tonight. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday, same time, same channel. This is Phay. I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.